Hello and welcome to day 231 in the Not Alone Today chronological Bible reading plan. Today we are reading 2 Kings 25 verse 27 to 30, Jeremiah 52 verse 31 to 34, Isaiah 13 from verse 1 to chapter 14 verse 23, then Isaiah 21 from verse 1 to 17, and finally Isaiah 33 from verse 1 all the way to chapter 35 verse 10. We are still reading from the English Standard Version. 2 Kings 25 from verse 27 to 30. And in the 37th year of the exile of Jehoiachin, king of Judah, in the 12th month, on the 27th day of the month, Evil Merodach, king of Babylon, in the year that he began to reign, graciously freed Jehoiachin, king of Judah, from prison. And he spoke kindly to him and gave him a seat above the seats of the kings who were with him in Babylon. So Jehoiachin put off his prison garments, and every day of his life he dined regularly at the king's table. And for his allowance, a regular allowance was given him by the king according to his daily needs, as long as he lived. Jeremiah 52 verse 31 to 34. And in the 37th year of the exile of Jehoiachin, king of Judah, in the 12th month, on the 25th day of the month, Evil Merodach, king of Babylon, in the year that he began to reign, graciously freed Jehoiachin, king of Judah, and brought him out of prison. And he spoke kindly to him and gave him a seat above the seats of the kings who were with him in Babylon. So Jehoiachin put off his prison garments, and every day of his life he dined regularly at the king's table. And for his allowance, a regular allowance was given him by the king according to his daily needs until the day of his death, as long as he lived. Isaiah chapter 13 from verse 1 all the way to 14 verse 23. Chapter 13. The oracle concerning Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos saw. On a bare hill, raise a signal, cry aloud to them. Wave the hand for them to enter the gates of the nobles. I myself have commanded my consecrated ones, and have summoned my mighty men to execute my anger, my proudly exulting ones. The sound of a tumult is on the mountains as of a great multitude. The sound of an uproar of kingdoms, of nations gathering together. The Lord of hosts is mustering a host for battle. They come from a distant land. From the end of the heavens, the Lord of the weapons of his indignation, to destroy the whole land. Wail, for the day of the Lord is near. As destruction from the Almighty, it will come. Therefore all hands will be feeble, and every human heart will melt. They will be dismayed. Pangs and agony will seize them. They will be in anguish like a woman in labor. They will look aghast at one another. Their faces will be aflame. Behold, the day of the Lord comes, cruel with wrath and fierce anger, to make the land a desolation and to destroy its sinners from it. For the stars of the heavens and their constellations will not give their light. The sun will be dark at its rising, and the moon will not shed its light. I will punish the world for its evil and the wicked for their iniquity. I will put an end to the pomp of the arrogant, and lay low the pompous pride of the ruthless. I will make people more rare than fine gold, and mankind than the gold of Ophir. Therefore I will make the heavens tremble, and the earth will be shaken out of its place. At the wrath of the Lord of hosts in the day of his fierce anger, and like a hunted gazelle, or like sheep with none to gather them, each will turn to his own people, and each will flee to his own land. Whoever is found will be thrust through, and whoever is caught will fall by the sword. Their infants will be dashed in pieces before their eyes. Their houses will be plundered and their wives ravished. Behold, I am stirring up the Medes against them, who have no regard for silver and do not delight in gold. Their bows will slaughter the young men. They will have no mercy on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes will not pity children. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the splendor and pomp of the Chaldeans, will be like Sodom and Gomorrah when God overthrew them. It will never be inhabited or lived in for all generations. No Arab will pitch his tents there. No shepherds will make their flocks lie down there. but wild animals will lie down there, and their houses will be full of howling creatures. There ostriches will dwell, and there wild goats will dance. Hyenas will cry in its towers, and jackals in the pleasant palaces. Its time is close at hand, and its days will not be prolonged. Chapter 14. For the Lord will have compassion on Jacob, and will again choose Israel, and will set them in their own land. And sojourners will join them, and will attach themselves to the house of Jacob. And the peoples will take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel will possess them in the Lord's land as male and female slaves. They will take captive those who were their captors, and rule over those who oppress them. When the Lord has given you rest from your pain and turmoil, and the hard service with which you were made to serve, you will take up this taunt against the king of Babylon. How the oppressor has ceased, the insolent fury ceased. The Lord has broken the staff of the wicked, the scepter of rulers that struck the peoples in wrath with unceasing blows, that ruled the nations in anger with unrelenting persecution. The whole earth is at rest and quiet. They break forth into singing. The cypresses rejoice at you, the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since you were laid low, no woodcutter comes up against us. Sheol beneath is stirred up to meet you when you come. It rouses the shades to greet you, all who were leaders of the earth. It raises from their thrones all who were kings of the nations. All of them will answer and say to you, you too have become as weak as we. You have become like us. Your pomp is brought down to Sheol. The sound of your harps and maggots are laid as a bed beneath you, and worms are your covers. How you are fallen from heaven, O day star, son of dawn. How you are cut down to the ground, you who laid the nations low. You said in your heart, I will ascend to heaven above the stars of God. I will set my throne on high. I will sit on the mount of assembly in the far reaches of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High. But you are brought down to Sheol, to the far reaches of the pit. Those who see you will stare at you and ponder over you. Is this the man who made the earth tremble, who shook kingdoms, who made the world like a desert and overthrew its cities, who did not let his prisoners go home? All the kings of the nations lie in glory, each in his own tomb. But you are cast out away from your grave like a loathed branch, clothed with the slain, those pierced by the sword, who go down to the stones of the pit, like a dead body trampled underfoot. You will not be joined with them in burial, because you have destroyed your land. You have slain your people. May the offspring of evildoers never more be named. Prepare slaughter for his sons because of the guilt of their fathers, lest they rise and possess the earth, and fill the face of the world with cities. I will rise up against them, declares the Lord of hosts, and will cut off from Babylon name and remnant, descendants and posterity, declares the Lord. And I will make it a possession of the hedgehog and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the broom of destruction, declares the Lord of hosts. Isaiah 21. The oracle concerning the wilderness of the sea. As wild winds in the Negeb sweep on, it comes from the wilderness, from a terrible land. A stern vision is told to me. The traitor betrays and the destroyer destroys. Go up, O Elam, lay siege, O Media. All the sighing she has caused I bring to an end. Therefore my loins are filled with anguish. Pangs have seized me, like the pangs of a woman in labor. I am bowed down so that I cannot hear. I am dismayed so that I cannot see. My heart staggers. Horror has appalled me. The twilight I longed for has been turned for me into trembling. They prepare the table, they spread the rugs, they eat, they drink. Arise, O princes, oil the shield. For thus the Lord said to me, go set a watchman. Let him announce what he sees. When he sees riders, horsemen in pairs, riders on donkeys, riders on camels, let him listen diligently, very diligently. Then he who saw cried out, upon a watchtower I stand, O Lord, continually by day, and at my post I am stationed whole nights. And behold, here come riders, horsemen in pairs, And he answered, Fallen, fallen is Babylon, and all the carved images of her gods he has shattered to the ground. O my threshed and winnowed one, what I have heard from the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, I announce to you. The oracle concerning Duma. One is calling to me from Seir, Watchman, what time of the night? Watchman, what time of the night? The watchman says, Morning comes, and also the night. If you will inquire, inquire. Come back again. The oracle concerning Arabia. In the thickets in Arabia you will lodge, O caravans of Dedanites. To the thirsty bring water. Meet the fugitive with bread, O inhabitants of the land of Tema. For they have fled from the swords, from the drawn sword, from the bent bow, and from the press of battle. For thus the Lord said to me, within a year according to the years of a hired worker, all the glory of Kedar will come to an end, and the remainder of the archers of the mighty men of the sons of Kedar will be few, for the Lord, the God of Israel, has spoken. Isaiah 33. Ha, you destroyer, who yourself have not been destroyed, you traitor whom no one has betrayed. When you have ceased to destroy, you will be destroyed, and when you have finished betraying, they will betray you. O Lord, be gracious to us, we wait for you. Be our harm every morning, our salvation in the time of trouble. At the tumultuous noise, peoples flee. When you lift yourself up, nations are scattered, and your spoil is gathered as the caterpillar gathers. As locusts sleep, it is leapt upon. The Lord is exalted, for he dwells on high. He will fill Zion with justice and righteousness, and it will be the stability of your times. Abundance of salvation, wisdom, and knowledge. The fear of the Lord is Zion's treasure. Behold, their heroes cry in the streets. The envoys of peace weep bitterly. The highways lie waste, the traveler ceases. Covenants are broken, cities are despised. There is no regard for man. The land mourns and languishes. Lebanon is confounded and withers away. Sharon is like a desert, and Bashan and Carmel shake off their leaves. Now I will arise, says the Lord. Now I will lift myself up. Now I will be exalted. You conceive chaff, you give birth to stubble. Your breath is a fire that will consume you, and the peoples will be as if burned to lime, like thorns cut down that are burned in the fire. Hear, you who are far off, what I have done, and you who are near, acknowledge my might. The sinners in Zion are afraid. Trembling has seized the godless. Who among us can dwell with the consuming fire? Who among us can dwell with everlasting burnings? He who walks righteously and speaks uprightly, who despises the gain of oppressions, who shakes his hands lest they hold a bribe, who stops his ears from hearing of bloodshed and shuts his eyes from looking on evil. He will dwell on the heights. His place of defense will be the fortress of rocks. His bread will be given him. His water will be sure. Your eyes will behold the king in his beauty. They will see a land that stretches afar. Your heart will muse on the terror. Where is he who counted? Where is he who weighed the tribute? Where is he who counted the towers? You will see no more the insolent people, the people of an obscure speech that you cannot comprehend, stammering in a tongue that you cannot understand. Behold Zion, the city of our appointed feasts. Your eyes will see Jerusalem, an untroubled habitation, an immovable tent, whose stakes will never be plucked up, nor will any of its cords be broken. But there the Lord in majesty will be for us, a place of broad rivers and streams, where no galley with oars can go, no majestic ship can pass. For the Lord is our judge, the Lord is our lawgiver, the Lord is our king, he will save us. Your cords hang loose, they cannot hold the mast firm in its place, or keep the sails spread out. Then prey and spoil in abundance will be divided. Even the lame will take the prey, and no inhabitant will say, I am sick. And the people who dwell there will be forgiven their iniquity. Chapter 34. Draw near, O nations, to hear, and give attention, O peoples. Let the earth hear, and all that fills it, the world and all that comes from it. For the Lord is enraged against all the nations and furious against all their hosts. He has devoted them to destruction and has given them over for slaughter. Their slain shall be cast out, and the stench of their corpses shall rise. The mountains shall flow with their blood. All the host of heaven shall rot away, and the skies roll up like a scroll. All their hosts shall fall, as leaves fall from the vine, like leaves falling from the fig tree. For my sword has drunk its fill in the heavens. Behold, it descends for judgment upon Edom. Upon the people I have devoted to destruction, the Lord has a sword. It is sated with blood. It is gorged with fat, with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord has a sacrifice in Bozrah, a great slaughter in the land of Edom. Wild oxen shall fall with them, and young steers with the mighty bulls. Their land shall drink its fill of blood, and their soil shall be gorged with fat. For the Lord has a day of vengeance, a year of recompense for the cause of Zion. And the streams of Edom shall be turned into pitch, and her soil into sulfur. Her land shall become burning pitch. Night and day it shall not be quenched. Its smoke shall go up forever. From generation to generation it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. But the hawk and the porcupine shall possess it. The owl and the raven shall dwell in it. He shall stretch the line of confusion over it, and the plumb line of emptiness. Its nobles, there is no one there to call it a kingdom, and all its princes shall be nothing. Thorns shall grow over its strongholds, nettles and thistles in its fortresses. It shall be the haunt of jackals, an abode for ostriches, and wild animals shall meet with hyenas. The wild goat shall cry to his fellow. Indeed, there the night bird settles and finds for herself a resting place. There the owl nests and lays and hatches and gathers a young in a shadow. Indeed, there the hawks are gathered, each one with a mate. Seek and read from the book of the Lord. Not one of these shall be missing. None shall be without a mate, for the mouth of the Lord has commanded, and his spirit has gathered them. He has cast the lot for them. His hand has portioned it out to them. With the line they shall possess it forever. From generation to generation, they shall dwell in it. Chapter 35. The wilderness and the dry land shall be glad. The desert shall rejoice and blossom like the crocus. It shall blossom abundantly and rejoice with joy and singing. The glory of Lebanon shall be given to it, the majesty of Carmel and Sharon. They shall see the glory of the Lord, the majesty of our God. Strengthen the weak hands and make firm the feeble knees. Say to those who have an anxious heart, be strong, fear not. Behold, your God will come with vengeance, with the recompense of God. He will come and save you. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf unstopped. Then shall the lame man leap like a deer, and the tongue of the mute sing for joy. For waters break forth in the wilderness and streams in the desert. The burning sound shall become a pool, and the thirsty ground springs of water. In the haunt of jackals where they live down, the grass shall become reeds and rushes. And a highway shall be there, and it shall be called the way of holiness. The unclean shall not pass over it, it shall belong to those who walk on the way. Even if they are fools, they shall not go astray. No lion shall be there, nor shall any ravenous beast come upon it. They shall not be found there, but the redeemed shall walk there. And the ransomed of the Lord shall return and come to Zion with singing. Everlasting joy shall be upon their heads, and they shall obtain gladness and joy, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Today we've read a few passages. We began with 2 Kings 25, 27 to 30, and Jeremiah 52, verse 31 to 34. And in both passages, we see this postscript almost word for word to the story of Jehoiachin, how that after he had been taken into captivity to Babylon in the 37th year of that exile, when Nebuchadnezzar, as we know it, has died, and his son, Evil Merodach, has become the king of Babylon, he decided to free Jehoiachin from prison and even to continue to feed him at his table and to give him an allowance all the day of his life till the time of his death. And this is just a glimmer of hope, as though God is trying to say, I'm not done with this story and I'm not done with my people. He has said both through Isaiah and Jeremiah that the captivity will go on for 70 years and only 70 years. At the end of that 70 years, he has spoken through prophet Isaiah of a Cyrus that will facilitate the return of God's people. And so all of that has been said already in prophecy. But what is happening here with the very, very end of Jehoiachin's story, of him receiving such an unmerited mercy, is a statement to what is to come. And then in Isaiah chapter 13, from verse 1 to 14, verse 23, we saw the judgment of Babylon. How this Babylon that God has used and continues to use to bring judgment upon Israel and Judah especially, and upon Egypt eventually, would also meet with its own judgment, as it were. And then in chapter 14, we're told of the restoration of Jacob, when God's people will come back home. And then, of course, there was a taunt to the king of Babylonia, and indeed to the kingdom of Babylon, also given in that particular chapter. That imagery has often been used, especially from around verse 12 to about verse 14. Again, is another passage, just like the one we read in Ezekiel, that kind of apply, as it were, to Satan. When it says, how you are fallen from heaven, O day star, how you are cut down to the ground. You said in your heart, I will ascend to heaven. I will set my throne on high. I will sit on the mount of assembly. And then verse 14, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds and make myself like the Most High. In the context of this passage, is referring really to the king of Babylon. But again, we could very well see beyond him in light of the very literal sense of the description, to the one who empowers him to act in the ways in which he acts, namely the devil. And then in Isaiah 21, we read more about the fall of Babylon. And then, of course, in the subsequent chapters that we read, Isaiah 33 to 35. In 33, we saw Isaiah's prayer for the Lord to be gracious to his people, and the assurance that the Lord will do something from verse 7 upwards. In verse 14 downwards, we saw the punishment and rewards that were spelled out, and the reiteration that the reason for all of this is that the Lord, so that people can know that the Lord is God and the Lord is King. And then in chapter 34, there is judgment on the nations, various nations around the people of God. Edom, for instance, which we've seen another part of the book where the judgment against Edom was spelled out. In chapter 35, we're told that the ransomed shall return. The glory of God will be seen again, and God is going to change everything. And upon the specific highway, that is the sacred highway for God, we're going to see what God is capable of doing and accomplishing in the lives of his people. In terms of the things that stood out to me, it's such a long read, but I love especially in 2 Kings 25 verse 29 when it says, Jehoiachin put off his prison garments, and every day of his life he dined regularly at the king's table. It reminds us of Mephibosheth, doesn't it? But also, the emphasis here for me is that putting off of the prison garments. How many of us have been invited like Mephibosheth and Jehoiachin to dine at the king's table for the rest of our lives? But how many of us have really taken off the mentality and paraphernalia of those who are still imprisoned, still limited, still hindered by one thing or the other? The other parts that stood out to me is in 33, the very last verse, verse 24, where it says, "No inhabitant will say, I am sick. The people who dwell there will be forgiven their iniquity." I just love that promise and assurance. And I pray that for each and every one of us. It says as well in 34, verse 16, "Not one of these shall be missing, nor shall be without a mate. For the mouth of the Lord has commanded, and his spirit has gathered them." Another beautiful scripture to keep to mind from what we've read for today. That God delights to ensure that we all have our partners. None shall be without a mate. For the mouth of the Lord has commanded, and the spirit of the Lord has gathered them. I pray for someone that is single and prayerfully trusting God for the right life partner. May the promise of this scripture come alive to you, that you will not be without your mate, not just any mate, but your mate. For the mouth of the Lord has commanded it, and his spirit will gather them together. And it's in Jesus' mighty name that we have prayed. Amen. So join us on day 232 as we continue our reading. We'll flip the page. We're going to be back to the book of Daniel to pick it up from where we left off. We've read it up to chapter 4. We're going to look at chapter 5 when we turn the page tomorrow. So join us. But till then, just remember, you're not alone today. God bless you.